All right, hey guys, I am super excited to bring to you this how to start an NDIS business step-by-step checklist. This is completely free. As you know, if you know me at all, I give all this stuff away for free, and if people want my help implementing it, I give it to them. So my name is Greg Chadwick. I've been in the disability sector for almost the last 20 years now. I started in 2005, and I've been working with many providers for a long time now through mentorship and coaching and helping them set up their NDIS business to helping them attract clients through chadwickdigital.com.au. And I have a number of other businesses as well, but I'm also the owner and the founder of Simply Stronger Supports, a disability organization here on the Gold Coast. So I really do understand the complexities of the NDIS, and I have a large professional network where if somebody really can't seem to figure their way out through HR or whatever that is, I point them towards that direction. So what I really want to do for you today is give you a step-by-step guide, because I believe as a not-for-profit charity, we have a not-for-profit charity, and I believe that if we can get these foundations right, we can create an ethical business, we can help change the NDIS one provider at a time. And look, excited. I'm pumped. This is version 2. We've done this before, but I've updated this, and I wanted to dive a little bit deeper into some of the things that are going to help you set up your NDIS business and get you started. All right, so here we go. Starting at the beginning. And I do want to mention, actually, if you want a copy of this, leave a message down below, and I'll shoot that message. I'll shoot it over to you. No questions asked. You can have this list, and you can go through and check out this. I also have a masterclass, which is completely free. It's a 1-hour masterclass that will help you understand how to attract clients and how to get through some of these nuances. So without further ado, let's jump right into it. So for our first point here, what is your why? Okay, well, your why is really important in the disability sector and in any business, but especially the disability sector, because you're going to go through some hard times. So, what is the reason you became an NDIS provider? And in my mentorship groups, I have a little project that I go through. It's called the 7 Levels Deep, and it's a Neil deGrasse concept. So I didn't come up with it, but what it does is it dives deeper and deeper and deeper into your why and why you started this NDIS business. So I think it's a great process, because sometimes the why that you think, so a lot of people, they say, why did you start an NDIS business? Well, because I wanted to help people with an NDIS, with a disability. Okay, so but why did you want to help people with a disability? We have to get deeper down into the actual core reason why you want to be an NDIS provider. If the reason is because you're in it for the money, then you're in it for the wrong reasons, because I can tell you that reason won't get you through. That is not a reason to stick with this and get in the NDIS. There has to be a deeper reason. And yes, I understand the surface reason is because you want to help people, because I have a core belief that 90% of NDIS providers are amazing, and they want to help, and they just don't have that skill set yet. And that's what I'm here to do. And that's why, if you look all over my YouTube channel, it's all free. And I'm hoping to level you up a little bit and help you with those skill sets and create a better industry in total. So look, focus on your why. And then everything else becomes a lot easier. And we'll get a little bit, I'll talk about it a little bit more in the future, but let's jump on to number 2. So what does your ideal participant look like? So when we're starting a disability sector, in the disability sector, the first question that I ask providers is, what services do you provide? And often the answer is, because they don't know any better, and that's okay. Often the answer is, I provide all services. By providing all services to all people, you provide no services to anybody. Okay, this marketplace now is a crowded market. So in 2013, when the NDIS released, you could pretty much start up a business and you would get a whole heap of participants, because it was not a competitive marketplace. And I think the NDIS is a better place for it, to be honest. Competition is where people have to up their game. All right, it's not enough to just say, look, I'm a disability service, I'm a registered provider, all that sort of stuff. Registered providers doesn't mean you're going to get participants, okay? And we'll talk about that a little bit later. But who is your ideal participant? So if you could just name one person that you would love to wake up every day and go to work and serve that person and help them reach their goals and feel inspired to go, I love what I do and I love helping this type of person. So what is it, what is their demographic? So you have to consider all these sort of things because even from a marketing perspective, okay, even from a marketing perspective, it's really, really important because the problems that a 15-year-old male faces is very different to a 50-year-old with dementia faces. So we need to understand those problems so that we can find a gap and actually provide that solution and provide a creative solution that's going to help us stand out. And not just that, it's really unethical. Okay, if you provide all services to all people, especially in the beginning when you don't actually have the funds to train people and support staff and that sort of thing, that someone who's really good working with young men with autism or intellectual disability and then throwing them in with high complexity dementia or something like that, super unethical. And add what you will see and what I'm dealing with a lot now when I'm working with bigger providers is that they're super stressed out because they're in so many different verticals. Okay, they provide so many different things to so many different people that in order to provide training to people, they have to spend a heap of money on providing different trainings to different people. And then if someone gets sick, one person can't replace for another person and that sort of thing. So they're constantly struggling with rosters and all that sort of thing. So there's so many complexities in the fact that you need to just identify who is that one person that you want to support. Okay. Then we can actually start looking at marketing and start attracting that participant and love what you're doing as well. Okay. Okay, so what services are you going to provide? So there is a list on the NDIS website of all the different services you can provide, from support coordination, plan management, occupational therapy, to core supports, like personal supports, in-home supports, community access, STA, which is short-term accommodation, SIL, which is um, uh, basically accommodation for people to live in and rentals and that sort of stuff. So there's so many different services. I recommend doing some research on what kind of service you want to provide, but probably one of the easiest places to start is going to be community access. Okay, being able to take someone into the community and make sure they're okay. That I think is where the core is, but often we don't understand. Yes, we want to give them community access, but we don't want to just take them bowling. We want to have a look at their goals and dive a little bit deeper and ask the question and put it back and try and empower them to say, hey, look, what do you really want to do? I know you want to get into the community, but what type of friends do you really want to build? What type of activities do you really want to do to increase your capacity, to help you reach your goals? So don't just think, I'm going to take them to time zone. I'm going to take them to bowling and that sort of thing. It's not that you can't. Okay, they're a great thing to do, very popular. But what is the real reason why we're helping people provide these services? So, what services are you going to provide? That's number 3. All right, number 4, understand the NDIS practice standards and other requirements. Okay, very, very important. If we compliance for me is number one. Okay, it's really, really important. If you want to have a business that people trust, that support coordinators want to keep coming back to, that referral partners want to keep coming back to, all that sort of stuff, and really that your staff and you take care of the participants you support and you don't end up on 60 Minutes, getting your compliance right, regardless of if you're registered or unregistered, getting that compliance right from the day one is really, really important. And look, this is another skill set that you'll learn along the way. I don't expect you to know this now, but what I do expect you to do is to do some research, and all you have to do is Google NDIS practice standards to start with. Okay, Google what the NDIS practice standards are. Have a read of that. If you have a bit of a deep dive, there's basically if you look at some of the legal requirements, or just type in NDIS practice standards and requirements, then you'll actually see that there's a whole heap of stuff from incident reports and all that sort of thing that you can learn on the NDIS website. It's a really, really good resource, okay? So don't underestimate the NDIS website because it's all laid out there for you on what you need to do, become a high quality, ethical provider. And that's what we need to do. If you want to last and survive in this sector, we've got to do it right, okay? So writing a one-page business plan and a value proposition. So in my mentorship program, we take you through creating that one-page business plan in, I think, week 3. It's important to get everything else right before that. So understanding who you support, what services you're going to do before you do your business plan. Okay. So how could you do that business plan? It doesn't have to be a big, elaborate 20-page business plan because this is really just for you. This is to say, if you've ever done a vision board, if you've ever done written down your goals for New Year's Eve, this is really something for you to look on and go, this is my business plan. This is what I'm going to do. Now I have clarity and I understand what my direction is. Okay, so get that one-page business plan done up. I know a lot of people out there, they go and pay thousands and thousands of dollars. You don't have to do that. Just write it on a simple Word document, use ChatGPT, whatever it is, okay, but just get a plan on paper, keep it handy, and keep going back to it, and if something changes, edit it. So make the NDIS price guide your extension of your arm, okay? So if you don't know what the NDIS price guide is, when it's time to charge a participant for the services that you've provided or the plan manager or the NDIS, there's basically an NDIS price guide. So if you just Google NDIS price guide, there'll be a PDF there which says how much you're allowed to charge, the maximum you're allowed to charge. So there's a lot of nuances. This is a really long PDF and a lot of nuances to what can I charge on a Saturday, what can I charge on a Sunday, weekdays, afternoon rates, first aid allowances, transport costs, all that sort of stuff. So figuring out what line item, because in order to actually get paid for anything, you have to understand what the line item is and the little number, put that on your invoice, send that to the plan manager, make sure it's all correct, and make sure you're getting paid right because hey, you do a good job, we do a good job, you got to get paid. So it's really, really important to understand this like it's your Bible because that's really how you don't want to have your invoices refused, or you don't want to provide a service that you actually weren't allowed to provide a service for in the beginning, and you won't get paid for it because that wasn't in their plan. So moving on to number 6, choosing your business structure. Okay, so what kind of business structure are you going to be? A PTY Ltd? Are you going to be a not-for-profit charity? Are you going to be a sole trader? What kind of business structure are you going to do? You can have a chat with your accountant. Often, if it's just you, often a good way to start is a sole trader because you can move to a PTY Ltd later. But it all depends on your assets and all that sort of thing. So have a chat to your accountant. Being a business can protect your assets a little bit better. So have a chat to your accountant. What would be the best scenario? If there's more than one director, you're probably not going to go a sole trader route. But you definitely have to have an ABN and to actually kick all that sort of thing off. I have a video showing you how to create your business name and get your business set up and that sort of thing. And we do that inside our mentorship program as well. If that's something you're interested in, hit me up and let me know down below, and we'll get you some details about that as well. So choosing a solid business name that will grow with you. So I've just recorded a video on this as well, which goes quite in depth. So I won't go too in depth with this one, but a lot of it has to relate back to your why. Okay, this is, I see a lot of businesses making the mistake of being 4, 5, 6 names long, or having acronyms that just don't make sense. Keep it short and sweet and simple. If you can keep it to 2 words, that's fantastic, but I wouldn't go past 3 words. Okay, so let's say Destiny Care. Okay, Destiny supports. I don't know, infinite supports, infinite abilities. These sorts of things. Using these keywords is really crucial as well to say, okay, because we could go down the branding route. Okay, if you have this goal and this desire to say, I want to be a brand, a household name, and you just choose a one-word business name, like Nike or like Coke or whatever that is. That's great for branding. That's great for T-shirts, all that sort of thing. But if you're not planning to be a household name and be a huge, like 1,000 participant organization, that sort of thing, I would look at clarity. So when someone looks at your business, they know automatically that's a nursing service. So, infinite nursing, they know that this is a nursing service straight away. It doesn't have to be complicated, but it also has to relate to your why. So if you have a cool name like a Greek goddess or whatever, that relates to your why, like Aphrodite, Aphrodite supports. If it's something that's really passionate to you, Aphrodite, okay, go with it. That's fine. It's got to relate to your why, but make sure there is clarity in it. Also need to do your research. Make sure that when you Google it, there's no one really that close to it, because you don't want to have to compete with anybody else for your business name. All right. So, and one more thing I'll mention as well, go and check on GoDaddy, which is GoDaddy's a URL or a hosting website where you can just type in your hosting name and check if your domain name is available. So aphroditecare.com.au. Search it. If it's available, you can buy it. Cool. That's something you want to secure before someone takes that name, and if that's something really passionate and value to you. So let's set up your business bank account, okay? Something real simple, real quick, but you want to try and create that separation between your personal account and your business account. Now, it doesn't have to be a business account, but whatever it is, whatever kind of account format that you choose to go with, just make sure that they're separate so that your ingoings and outgoings, everything goes through there, so you're able to track your expenses, you're able to claim that sort of stuff with the tax department. If you're connecting to an accounting software like Xero or anything like that, it really does simplify the whole process for you. All right, moving on. Legitimize your business with a website and a basic social media account. Okay, so if you don't already know, Chadwick Digital creates websites for NDIS providers, and we help them with their strategic marketing. Okay, so this is something that we do exceptionally well. Okay, so I've been doing it for 15 years. I've been building websites. I've had a digital marketing agency. We specialize in the NDIS, and we got this perfected. We got this right. Okay, I know I'm very confident to say that we do this better than other people that build websites in the industry. So there's only a few of us, but there is some very, very subtle nuances for NDIS providers when they're building their website, because it's not other industries. We're not plumbers, we're not mechanics. It's a very, very different industry. And what I want you to always come back to when you're thinking, if you're building your website yourself or whatever, does this website, and keep asking yourself this question, does this website establish trust and build trust with other stakeholders in the industry? And when I say stakeholders, support coordinators, primary carers, participants, plan managers, OTs, all these sort of stakeholders in the sector. Does it build trust with these sort of people? Now, we've got a framework which we go through. We identify the language framework that we use in the NDIS. We sit down and for an hour and a half and with you when we're building a website, and we talk. We understand the language that you like to use in your culture and your business, and we combine those two. I'm not going to go over it because I've got a whole heap of YouTube videos that already explain that side of things. But look, if you've made it this far to number 10, I'd like to make you an offer that if you're setting up an NDIS business, I will create you a free logo with my other business called designably.com.au. I have an amazing crew over there that are creating social media branding packages for NDIS providers specifically. So that is what they do. That is my team of designers over there, university degree graduates, designers, amazing guys over there. Let me know in the comments below, or find me on Facebook. But if you really want it, please take this time to like and subscribe, because that really, really helps my business as well. And all I ask from you is your feedback, okay? If you love your logo, if you love all that sort of stuff, please just give me some feedback, leave me a review, whatever that is. But yeah, leave a message below, and we'll get you that free logo. So I'm excited to offer that to you, but only if you made it to number 10. Yeah. So yeah. So let's move on. All right, let's get your business insurance sorted. So I would prefer to use, and I would recommend using Upcover. I've got a video elsewhere if you want to look it up. Upcover Insurance. You can just YouTube Upcover Insurance, and I'm sure it will come up. But it walks you through why I think they're the best, and it gives you a little coupon to help make it a little bit cheaper as well if you want the promotional code. But basically, the reason why I would choose it is because there's a couple of other big players in the industry. There's BizCover and there's Aon Insurance, all brokers, okay? But BizCover has so many exclusions involved in their and Aon as well. From my experience when I researched it, these sort of things were good for like individual sole providers that don't have any staff members and that sort of thing. Upcover seem to have a lot more inclusions, so it's really important. So at the point where you if you have to use your insurance, you don't want to find out that, oh my God, I haven't actually been insured for going kayaking, or I haven't actually been insured for going bushwalking. All they're doing is allowing me to go to the doctors and back, or driving them to bowling and that sort of stuff. So I'm not actually able to get insured for that sort of stuff. So think about insurance, public liability, professional indemnity. They're the ones you want to get. The only real insurance that is compulsory in Australia is workers' compensation insurance, and that is for providing insurance to um, workers. Okay, but the other ones are definitely recommended. You need to protect yourself, your assets, and make sure you're a business that can handle something that if something goes wrong. So I think, and it doesn't cost much. It'll cost somewhere between 300 and 400 to start off with, probably 450, 300 to 450, depending on what are your inclusions. So get that sorted, and let's move on to our next one. Okay, employee and disability regulations check. So it depends on what state you're in. So each state has different regulations that, do you have your disability checks? Do your staff all have their disability checks? Working with children's checks, these sorts of things. So take a look at your state and have a look at what employee and disability regulation checks you actually need to support someone with a disability. Number 13, we are getting there. All right. So I appreciate your patience, but we're going all the way to 18. So becoming a registered provider. It's the big one. Controversially, some people lie and say that you have to be a registered provider. At least at this stage, you don't have to be a registered provider, depending on what services you provide. Okay. So basically, to simplify things, if you're an unregistered provider, you can only work with self-managed and plan-managed participants. Now, you might be concerned, I'm going to miss out on NDIA managed participants, but realistically, there is not the plan managed and self-managed are where the majority are. Okay, there's not a huge amount of NDIA managed participants. All right, and usually they are the more complex cases. So when you're starting an NDIS business, it might not be the best idea to start with the more complex cases anyway. So the other thing is support independent living. You have to be registered, and they're bringing in this. They're talking about bringing in. They've said they will for support coordination and that sort of thing. So if you need any clarity about that, don't hesitate to reach out about registered or unregistered, which one to choose. But I'm an unregistered provider, Simply Stronger Sports, because I provide quite a low risk service to young men with autism and intellectual disabilities between the age of 18 and 35. So that's my demographic that I specialize in. So when we talk about that irresistible offer and identifying, who the participants are that we're looking for, Becoming a registered provider is a choice thing, and I think it's a fantastic thing because it's a learning process. You have to go through the audit, you have to do your homework, and you have to make sure all your policies, procedures, and everything are in place. And regardless of what you do, if you're registered, unregistered, like I said before, you have to get your compliance in order anyway. You still have to have your documentation or in order anyway, so that if they ever do say, look, we're now going to make everybody go to become a registered provider. You've got everything in place anyway. And I work with Provider Institute, and they have all the documentations. They have all that sort of thing for verification and certification packs and actually getting you guys registered. Sorry, guys, I have a frog in my throat, and it is really annoying me. So sorry if that's annoying, but stick with me. I'm nearly there. I appreciate your patience. Thank you. So become compliant and personalizing your documentation. So like I said, Provider Institute has a whole heap of those documentations. You can get them a lot of places, but it's really important that your documentation actually meets the standard. It is not just copied templates that you can't use for when you want to go for your audits and your verifications and that sort of thing. So Provider Institute has all those sort of things and up to date. The other person I would recommend as well, if you're interested, is Tanya Gomez Consulting. They have all that sort of stuff as well. They're fantastic at what they do. She is the compliance queen as well. You'll probably see a lot of her stuff on the internet. She's a big person within the disability sector advocating for participants and providers to be compliant, and she amazes me at her skill sets as far as compliance is concerned as well. All right, designing your brochures and getting print ready. So when we talk about brochures, I would say that they're okay. Okay, I don't recommend getting brochures and starting letting letter drops and putting them everywhere and all that sort of stuff. Brochures are great when you have some kind of irresistible offer. You have a program that you can advertise, but just creating a brochure that says, we do seal, we do community access, we do this, we do that. All it's doing when you're at a networking event and handing those sort of things out, it's basically saying we do the same thing as everybody else. Okay. And we need to stand out. We need to create our irresistible offer, which is what we kind of look at within our client attraction mentorship. What is your irresistible offer? What is that thing that people look at and they say, I can't say no to this. This is so good that I can't say no to. This has so much value. Here is your irresistible offer. So these are the sorts of things you'll put on your brochure. Now, definitely get your business card and everything printed. You're going to need that when you start to meet people and hand those sort of things out. But obviously, you need to get your website and your emails and all that sort of things sorted before you actually do that. So identifying your accounting software. There's three big players in the accounting software: MyOb, LinkedIn, not MyOb, Xero, and QuickBooks, not LinkedIn. These guys are all good. I hated. I love Xero, and I hated QuickBooks Intuit. To be honest, I was with them for like 8 years or so, and they were nothing but a nightmare. And they just weren't compatible with any kind of client management systems or anything like that. Xero is pretty much what most people use in the sector. It's very friendly for people to figure out how to use. MyOb's really good as well. A lot of people use that, but a little bit more complex and a little bit harder to learn. So Xero is my one of choice if you're looking into it. I think it's a great software. You're going to need it to be able to create invoices and send that out and start gathering, actually collecting money for your business. So understanding invoicing and the formats on how to actually get paid. So there's certain formats, and we can look that up on the NDIS website. The NDIS requires specific layout and specific formats. If you send it to a plan manager and it's wrong, they'll send it back and say, look, can you fix your invoice? It doesn't have the right line item, or it doesn't say tax invoice at the top, or the date's wrong, or whatever that is. So getting your invoices right and understanding how to get paid without having to redo it over and over again, and creating more work for yourself is really important. So make sure we get that as well. Now, our last one is to never forget our mission. All right. I'd save the best for last, the most important one for last, at least to me. Our mission in this industry is to improve the lives of the people we support, okay, and to help them reach their goals and identifying what their needs are, okay? A lot of the time when we get behavioral support plans or OT reports and all that sort of thing, yes, it shows what is on the surface, but a lot of the time you're going to be the person that is there on the ground, and you will start to identify that, okay, maybe they didn't open up during that session. Maybe they didn't tell them everything, and their goal is actually this. Okay, so when you get together and you do your meet and greet and that sort of thing, they might not trust you yet either. Okay, so you got to build that trust and rapport. But by getting to know them and starting to learn what their goals are and what their dreams are, you might have some suggestions as well that are going to help them get to their goals as well. So understanding that we are here to improve the lives of the people we support and help them reach their goals. That is our main mission. Don't forget your mission. Look, I've appreciated you sticking with me for this long. I know if you've watched it this long, you really do care and you really want to start a disability service that matters and is ethical. And I want you to reach out to me. I have an amazing and really, really awesome mentorship program where I will be there with you, and you can text me whenever you get stuck with something. We'll have our group coaching programs. We have our onboarding calls. We have so much awesome content within it. We have a forum where you can ask other people in the group questions, and we have so many guests, gurus from the industry that have contributed to this course as well. It's pretty awesome. So reach out to me. I'd love to send you a video which teaches you a little bit more about those details, and I'd love to help. So anything you want, leave a message and leave a message down below, and I'll help you out. Thanks. Bye.